across East Penn Street. And I welcome you all to our neighborhood advisory subcommittee candidates. I hope everyone was able to get something to eat and view our candidates' pictures and profiles on the table back there. I'm going to hand it over to Leah, our director.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Germantown United's Weekly Candidates Night for our Neighborhood Advisory Subcommittee. My name is Leah Billinger. I have the privilege of serving as the Executive Director for Germantown United CDC. Before we get started, I want to give a big thank you to Lonnie Young Rec Center for hosting us tonight. Thank you all for coming, and I also want to thank my staff. I don't get a chance to thank them enough. So Desiree, Charity, and Sharice, whose birthday is tomorrow, and she is celebrating here with all of us tonight. So thank you, Sharice, for putting all this together. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the organization, Germantown United CDC is a nonprofit community development corporation. We support small businesses, residents, other community organizations, connecting them with different resources, advocating for the community, and just trying to make Germantown as great as it can be. So our mission is to promote and facilitate the revitalization of Germantown and its business corridors through a sustainable, creative, and community-driven approach to economic development. We currently manage 3 contracts with the City of Philadelphia. 2 are through the Commerce Department, and 1's through the Division of Housing and Community Development, which is DHCD. And that's the contract and the reason why we're here tonight. Through the DHCD contract, our community serves as a Neighborhood Advisory Committee, or NAS for short. There's going to be a lot of acronyms tonight, so apologies in advance. In this role, we really help connect residents with different housing-related resources. We help them out with application assistance, spreading community information, and different civic engagement and advocacy opportunities. Jackie and Elhaj? Okay. At some point tonight, Elhaj from THCD will speak a little bit, but just some background about the Neighborhood Advisory Subcommittee. One of the requirements through the NAG program is to formulate a NAS, a Neighborhood Advisory Subcommittee. The NAS is a resident-led advisory body elected by Germantown residents to help guide and steer Germantown United in how we can best support the community, what we can be advocating for to the City of Philadelphia, to the state, to the federal government, and really just trying to figure out what are the needs of the community, what do we need to do as a community to come together to make Germantown better. So this is why we're here tonight. We're going to introduce all of our candidates. They're going to have an opportunity to talk a little bit about themselves. After tonight, starting on Monday, there's going to be a virtual ballot that goes out. We're releasing out via email, social media, things like that. That virtual ballot will be open from Monday till Friday, 1 vote per resident. And then we're actually going to be having in-person voting as well from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, next Saturday, June 27th, here at Lonnie Young Rec Center and at the GU office at 5320 Germantown Avenue. So there's 2 different ways to vote. You can vote virtually or in person. The NAS, the Neighborhood Advisory Subcommittee, is going to be of 10 people. There are 7 people here. There's 1 person joining virtually, and there's, I believe, 3 or 4 folks who could not attend. So you can select up to 10 folks who serve on the Neighborhood Advisory Subcommittee. And with that said, we're going to kick it off with some of our candidates. First up is Nasir Bland. So if you just want to tell the folks in the audience and on our live stream a little bit about yourself, your connection to the community, and what you're looking to do in this position.
Good evening. My name is Nasir Bland. I'm the founder of NAS Holistics. NAS Holistics is an overall wellness movement where our mission is to help people prioritize self-care through natural remedies, holistic practices, like herbalism, and community, of course. Along that journey, I found myself opening my first brick and mortar space here in Germantown. We're located at 319 West Avenue, right across the street from this. There we offer bonus services like yoga, group meditation, community events. You have the opportunity to come in and speak with us, either myself or another person who's in there, get first-hand guidance on what it is you can do to charge of your health. You can start your health and wellness journey. The reason this is important for me to be here today is because not only do I have the opportunity to stand in front of the community as an entrepreneur, but now I'll be able to really emphasize the community aspect of what it is I'm looking to build. My previous background is in military law enforcement, so yeah, I'm really excited to be able to join the community. Like I said, I'm turning down. It was really about 2 years ago, but maybe in the future I'll see myself working with these things. Thank you.
Okay, next up is someone who could not be here tonight, Michael Brown. Here's a quick bio about Michael. Michael Brown is a real estate broker, educator, entrepreneur, and longtime community advocate with more than 20 years of experience in real estate, housing, business development, and public service. He is the founder and principal of Gold Realty and has served on nonprofit, housing, and professional and community boards, including Special Citizens Futures Unlimited, the Drivers Cooperative, and NAHREP Upper Manhattan. Michael brings experience in property management, neighborhood development, housing access, organizational leadership, public safety, and community education. He is committed to listening to Germantown residents, supporting responsible development, expanding employment and educational opportunities, and helping ensure that neighborhood decisions reflect the needs of both longtime residents and local stakeholders. And next up, we have another person who's going to be joining virtually. I'm not sure if he's in the waiting room. We have Michael Bird. Hello, good to see you.
Can everyone hear me? Hello? Can everyone hear me? Okay.
Yeah, if you want to just tell us why you want to be on the committee.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. Sorry I couldn't be there in person. My fiance and I are actually in North
I want to
Carolina.
try to find another way to.
Apologies, yeah. We'll get right back to Michael. We're going out from Florida, so next up we have Michael Cockville. Michael.
Good evening, Germantown. I'm Mike Cockville. I'm an organizer, I'm an activist, I'm a problem solver. I've been living in Germantown for about 7 or 8 years now. I fell in love with this community. Abolitionist slavery. I wanted to do this work to continue some of the stuff I was working on. So a while ago, I started like the Sheldon Air project, trying to get that done, trying to get the avenue repaved, revitalizing the corridors. Germantown, 19144, y'all, we got the highest eviction rate in the city. I think that's a problem. So focusing on like the eviction advocacy. And we wanted a few zip codes. Well, I think we the only zip code in the Northwest, 19144, 19113 is included. But we the only zip code where you can get like legal counsel if you are about to be evicted. So just harnessing that power, harnessing our advocacy power, we're known for stepping up and doing the right thing. It's 7 of us here in the summertime. You get 10 slots. I think this is the easy thing. Do this little slate right here, do it like right choice, go in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then pick your other 3. But I've seen everybody, and it's like all these people on this panel. I've seen in the community, everybody's familiar with business owners. I can't wait to come over to your spot and get some love with these achievements. But yeah, please select all of us, y'all. And much love.
The kid is not you. What that profile in front of you. The kid is works for the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society. She works with the land care program to help take care of vacant lots in Germantown and throughout the city of Philadelphia. And she is a Germantown resident, so she's on the ballot as well. Another person who couldn't be here tonight is Jim Dragoni. Jim Negroni has worked as a community activist and former block captain on East Church Lane for many years. Jim wears many hats. He is a musician, a former IT consultant, and a teacher of both music and computer science. His professional background as a tech writer and his experience as a concert producer, including his recent series for Historic Germantown, highlights his diverse skill set. Jim continues his dedicated service to our local spaces as the chairperson for the Friends of Market Square. Next up, we have Debbie Fortin.
I'm a longtime resident of Germantown, 1938. Retired from the school district, block captain, and I'm still doing boots on the ground, youth organizations. I do food give out every Wednesday. I'm also the vice president of the advisory board here at London Young Rec Center, and I'm all about community and veteran the East Germantown legacy, because we need work and we need to rebuild. And our children and our seniors need all of the help they can get, and that's what I'm about right now.
So much, Debbie. Another person who couldn't make it tonight, Sheila Johnson. Sheila is a tireless advocate for our community, serving as an elected committee person and dependent block captain, as a certified community of care facilitator and family care support specialist under the Philadelphia System of Care. She does vital work across Germantown, Mount Airy, and North Philadelphia. Her leadership extends to several boards, including the VA Family Resource Association and the Comcast Community Advisory Board. And she currently serves as the vice chair and community liaison for Together as Adopted Parents. Next up, we have Tiffany Jones.
Good evening, everybody. Germantown is my home. I was born here, I was raised here. My grandmother moved to the 800 block of Stafford Street in the 1960s. I attended F.D. Pastorius Elementary. I attended Hill Freeman at the old campus. My kids played football, softball, and they did cheerleading here in this exact rec center. I'm running because I want to give back. We also teach our children the importance of giving back, the importance of doing community work, of serving others. So I'm very interested in the promises of what Germantown can be, because I used to run these streets as a child. I played in the playgrounds. You know, I shopped on Shelton Avenue. I was outside and it was safe. And I'm concerned that it's not that way for our children now. So that's why I'm running. Hopefully, I can learn from all of my board members and you give me the opportunity, but I'm running so I can give back.
Yay! I think we should be good for Michael.
Okay.
I have the sound coming out of my
Computer.
computer.
Hello, can you hear me? I can't hear anything, so I'm not sure if you can hear me. Hello? No problem. Let me see if I can see his chat. Yes, I do see it. Can you hear me? As long as you can hear me, that's fine, and I'll go. I just want to make sure you can hear me before I start speaking. I can't see your chat though. If you tell me in the chat box that everyone can hear me, then I'll start.
discuss ways that we can combat some of these issues. So if anyone wants to speak up about some issues that you know or aware of or would like to be talked about, addressed, yeah.
All right. Everyone, that's my piece on the ground in Germantown. We have some issues. I live in this area since 1970. Okay, we live everywhere. We live on Juanita Street, Tacoma Street, Manheim, Pulaski Avenue, Berkeley. My family grew up around here. Okay, I need help. I need help. We need help to help them. Doesn't take a lot. I've done a lot and accomplished a lot as one person, and many of them can testify here about that. The areas in Germantown, right now, we need a market. IGA Market closed at the corner of Wayne and Shelton. I did a poll with some of the elders. The elders are asking me for a Sam's Club or Walmart. But that's where they're shopping now. My major concern is that our elders are not shopping in this area at all. And we all know if we grew up around here, the Shelton Avenue was a major shopping area. We had not to go downtown. That was like fun to catch the regional line to go downtown, but we didn't have to go downtown for everything. It was Shelton Avenue. And then you can Google that. I don't have to go into that. You can Google that and see what kind of department stores we had. Other issues, or I do not like the mini market Google stores. Not at all. We have major office space there, which of course our property managers are charging a lot per square footage. So we have to come up with a turnaround plan. Some type of turnaround plan to help the board once we're appointed to get this together. I have to give a shout out to my mayor's Neighborhood Action Center. Director Cameron Holmes is in the house. I met Cameron 2 years ago. And the first day I met him, he helped me. It was, did you get out of there? Did you get out of the those of me home in library? No, he didn't. Okay, so he's been on the road. Okay, so those are the areas. We need shopping. Why should I have to shop on Ridge Avenue? Cheltenham, go downtown to shop at the Reading Terminal. But we have all of that up there, all that space is up there. So we need the 9 of you or 10 of you that are here. There's a lot of directors in here. But I need help. I need help to help them. I'm done.
And to piggyback off of what Ms. Kim was saying with regards to the wrong businesses being in our neighborhoods, that's where I come in to empower individuals to start their own business and giving them access to the resources to help get it launched off the ground, because they are available through the SPCA, through the city of Philadelphia, Germantown CDC itself. And it's my pleasure to do that. I've had a lot of trials and tribulations through my time in West Oak Lane. And I've reached out to PHBC, got a whole bunch of home modification done, the low income tax freeze, the senior freeze. I've also worked with Humana and helped individuals with their tier medications. You have some seniors paying the same amount they would for tier 4 medication if they would do that same medication to a tier 1. So it's my pleasure to advocate for people. I have the knowledge, I have the passion, I have the experience, and I just want to help.
Just piggybacking off of what Sis right here said, you're talking about all the things that we need in Germantown, and we need them. But one thing is voting. We're under 20%, and my question comes in at where are the resources for the NAS coming from? You have all these wonderful people up here, and you guys have done a lot of work already. And there's way more to do, but you can't carry all of that on your back. So, when politicians look at giving money and providing resources for our community, they are looking at who is voting, and we are getting left behind.
to answer that, I'm going to pass my vote to Harvey as our PhD contract manager. He can formally introduce himself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Al Haj, and I work for the city of Philadelphia Division of Housing. Actually, the unit that I supervise for the Neighborhood Program Commission unit oversee the Neighborhood Academic Committee program, the NAC program for the city of Philadelphia. So the NAC is one of the oldest student engagement programs for the city of Philadelphia. Built over 50 years old, and it was created in order to build a bridge between Philadelphia residents and Philadelphia housing program and resources. So we just connect those two. In order for the city to achieve a goal, we fund neighborhood organizations throughout the city. And currently, we have 24 different organizations funded through this program, and German United is one of them. So, why this meeting is important? Because the funding used for this program is basically everybody in this room tax dollar. And for that reason, it is very important we have residents' participation, at the neighborhood level in the implementation of this program. And that's where you all, come in. So having this election is just to guarantee a fair process so that everybody, apply or apply for someone that you trust can be a neighborhood advisory subcommittee for the United CDC. So it is a volunteer role once you get elected, and you will see it for 2 years before we do another election. So you will be working closely with Ms. Cherise and Leo throughout the 2 years in basically helping church with the deliverables of the program. Because we have lots of challenges in the city, just name a few. Yeah, so like right now, as we speaking, we are heavily involved in mortgage and real estate task force program throughout the city. And sometime in July, maybe by July 15th, we will launch a wealth program. We want to help people who want to have a will, because none of us want to talk about that, right? But it'll be here, and we want to make sure we have something providing for our children. We also have the eviction diversion program. As you know, we don't have rental assistance program anymore, but we have eviction diversion. And if you know someone who probably is challenged by, area rent, so long as that person, landlord, can apply for the eviction diversion, they can pay up to 3 months. So these are just like a few programs, so you know that we have a lot of work to do. So this election, right? Now we have our candidates. The election will be on the 27th of this month, right? So probably like 10 days or a little bit more. So the idea is Alicia's and Leo, they put a wonderful game plan where people can vote virtually, so they don't need to come in this office for 7 times to cast their vote. You can do it online, right? And I think you will compare the online vote in 2 days before the actual election, and we'll close it the day of the election. But what we really wanted to do, right, the candidates, each of you, right, please ask 10 people at least, I know you know like more than 10 people, 10 people to vote for you online, and 10 people to vote for you in person the day of the election. So this way, we will have like a great, turnout for the election, and people will feel wanting, because the more people ask you a question. I'm voting for. Why do other people vote for you? And then you can expand on anything that Leo just about just about. So again, my name is Abad, and I will be here if you have any questions.
With regards to your transportation and going, I emphasize with you as well, because they moved it from state examinations to the place called Ohio State Auto. They didn't do the notification. When you talk about voting, or for our vote, you talk about political votes, right? For senators and stuff like that, right? Yeah, and I was just like, so the government just moved it without what y'all was going to do about that. So if I was to be elected to be the subcommittee, my question is advanced service. You think I'm going forward? You can them vote, valid votes in early. I think active about doing whatever I can to get every vote counted. Yeah, for sure.
I'm just gonna be really quick. I know you were concerned about voting, and I think everybody's concerned about voting. I'm concerned about the lack of turnout. And I think that, we can try to bring people to the polls, but people aren't excited. People aren't inspired to come out vote. People go where they want to go. People can get to the polls, and we do have our seniors who have trouble, but it's not just the seniors. And what I'm hoping is, if I'm elected to the board, we can show them that if we're listening to them, their concerns, and then they see a tangible result. Oh, my voice means something. What I have to say matters. And maybe that will inspire them on another level. But this is just like a micro version of, if I feel so late and I tell somebody, then they do something. Oh, I see a store. Oh, I see a new playground. So, hey, my voice means something. Maybe now I'll vote.
That's right.
So, to really support what was said, that was similar to what I was going to share as well. One of the beauties of this subcommittee was being able to be in different places at different times, sharing with the residents all the information and resources so they can be informed about the issues. One of the reasons why I think the voter turnout may be challenging in this particular area throughout the city is because there's not enough, if you will, political literacy and issue literacy. And what I mean by that is that being able to inform the residents of what the real issues are and how those issues can really resonate as they go to the voting polls. In this area alone, there's approximately 77,000 registered voters. But in the last mayoral election, there's approximately 27% turnout. So there's a gap in how many people actually came out as opposed to how many were registered. Where the gap came from, maybe there wasn't enough understanding of the real issues. Maybe their voices weren't really heard in places that they needed to be heard. Maybe they just needed opportunities for transportation to get to the polling places, which were sometimes shipped without them noticing. Maybe it was mail-in ballots that weren't really given out in time. Maybe it was some of those, or maybe it was just a nuanced issue that this subcommittee could unearth. That's what I believe is the beauty of this subcommittee. Being able to be in those places and hear the voices of the people, being able to bring those voices of the people to the proper resources and services so that they can then be elevated. Then their voices can be heard, then they can go to the polls knowing what exactly they're voting on and how their vote really matters. Because going other days of just saying register to vote, because we have over 1 million people registered to vote in the city of Philadelphia. But do we even have 30% turnout? We do not. And the fallout from that is often because there's not enough literacy, resources politically and socially to get people involved in the voting process. Not to mention, as far as going back to the question that's here, what are the issues? The issues that really is relevant in this community is affordable housing and rent control. Affordable housing is one of the things that's really challenging this community, where you have the average household making only $41,000, but the average house cost is $250,000. You can do the math. So is that really affordable? And then how do we make sure we have stabilized rent control? How do we make sure we have tenant unions? How do we deal with those issues that are really impacting them economically, socially, and then of course also politically? Those are the issues that I'm hearing from the community residents that I've talked to from the time that I've been doing some canvassing and talking to people as a community organizer. And I'm hearing this because they really want to have Germantown thrive and grow. They really want to have this community be the best it can be, but they're wondering how. They're wondering what. This subcommittee can answer that because we are the who. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Patrick? Yeah, what I would like to do is, I just want to have a question. Could you explain how the subcommittee works with the community? And, because I'm hearing a lot of political talk, and it's my understanding that the NAS board is not a political organization. So I kind of think there may be a misconception. I'm kind of getting to explain, to everybody, thank you for the NAS board's responsibility.
Do you want to take that?
And thank you for asking that question. That's a very important question. Yes, it is this is a group of people that once elected would be a subcommittee of Building Dynamic Board of Directors. So, because of the nature of the funding, we cannot be politically involved, or showing, let me put that way, showing political affiliation. We can do, if someone just talk about voter registration, these are like stuff that we can do. But we cannot, like, as a NAS, once elected, go and support one candidate versus another. Like, we cannot do it under the NAS program. So, you can do all the stuff in there. You can also voice your opinion in many ways, because everything that is written in this book, right? These are stuff that pertain to an annual share with yours and Leo, and with the help of their board of directors, they're going to be addressed. So we cannot be like politically from one side or another. We gotta stay away from it. Like if a Democrat come to us, people can have a conversation. If a Republican come to us, we can have a conversation. But we cannot just say, okay, we're here because we support this candidate or not. I don't know if this makes sense. Good?
Does that answer your question?
Yes, we have one more.
Yeah, one more, Michael,
And then Kevin.
We'll take one more after Michael. That will be Kevin, and we'll move on to the next question. Michael, you're up.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to speak to the commissioners on the board with our boards. And thank you for the issues that are in most residents right now, and which we feel most urgent a lot. I definitely get with the overall affordability is the one I'm hearing the most. And I think there's a disconnect between what residents know and what our neighbors actually have available to them in terms of resources, connecting to residents, understanding food, as well to some of you understand how the medications are happening. And I think just bringing resources to the neighbors are very important. I would like for example, and our role in that to involve bringing resources to their blocks and to the people. You can't really meet people 50 minutes away because I think there's a lot of distress. And I think you bring resources to the people is another way to seek it out. You can see some a little bit in translate some of the things that are going on to actionable items. So affordability is definitely what I think most about. And that's what feels most urgent. And also resources for children. There are a lot of children that are left without things to do in the summertime. I think we could find ways to engage them as well. That would be great, especially while school's out. Moving to the second question, how do you make sure you're here for neighbors beyond your own lots of personal experience? Personally, I was all over Jamestown on both sides, or we consider four sides. And I think I've had neighbors that have given me feedback on what they think they need and what others need in the neighborhood that we can expand on. And I have no problem knocking on doors to other people, being involved in the community, or having something because all of our issues are not the same. And that's something I think this is a committee should consider doing. And my connection to Jamestown, mentioned the fires, that's really killing. That's an certificate, graduated from here. Played for Jamestown High football, four clothes, happy relative by heart. To slot around that fields with the crease. So I'm definitely having dreams on my background in that way. And the reason I have for the reason I keep everybody happy that he's going there because I'm going there and kid. I'm going to food and so food where I was saying so I also listen to what they have to say and listen to their needs and try to deliver the best that we can out of the students so pretty.
Awesome. Thank you.
We'll now hear from Devin.
I wanted to speak back to the issues of the student market. One of the biggest things that I got minded with, first and foremost, is the IGA issue. Through the NAS Candidates Association, which I'll probably share, we are trying to start a conversation, and we had 2 meetings thus far, about what we would like to be in replace the IGA. Through those 2 meetings, and we're trying to have more, that's what we were talking about. One of the things that we heard over and over again is we need another supermarket that's somewhere between the Sable Lot and the Weaver's Way that's in the street. The residents around the area should not have to drive in order to pick up groceries. You shouldn't have to choose between, between the rising costs of trying to get organic fruits and vegetables versus something that you have no idea where it's sourced. The conversations that came from that is we would like to have a supermarket replace it, but we would like to also have a mixed-use space. A space in which we can invite artists, we can have our farmers markets in that large parking lot. We have all of these things that we have to leave our neighborhood for, but in this very large space where we can bring community involvement back into our neighborhood, get to know our neighbors, as well as have a good time while we're shopping for things. You go on the NAS Neighborhood Association's Facebook page right now, you'll see some of those comments, but we do need more involvement. And that was one of the primary reasons why I chose to run for this position as well, because we needed to happen within the town, CDC. One of the second things that you mentioned was the second thing I wanted to hear, the abundance of the stock and shops. The poison that they're selling at a very cheap price to keep people addicted to the things that are destroying our communities. We need to change them. The simple fact that they exist, it drives me insane. Because they're the same people that when I go out to the street corners and bring up fights, stopping people from doing this and that, just we need to change. And lastly, the voter issue. I ran unsuccessfully, but I did run to be a new person. But I enjoy knocking on doors. Because when you knock on doors, you get to talk to people. You get to be real with them. They realize you're not there to just hang out cafes, but they actually want to hear their issues. And when you make those connections with people, not only that I see those same people whose doors are not going to walk past me, or we have a conversation when we go vote, that's how you increase the voter turnout, by getting to know your neighbors. You don't have to be able to solve every problem you have, but just having people knock on doors and see that someone's listening will change them. So we need to have more involvement. My 2 main pillars are civic and social relations. We can have those things in our society. We will change a lot of the problems that we see in general town.
Yes.
Thank you, Kevin.
Is there any more? Okay. One second.
Such an artist wanted to check the mic first. I was wondering, I need to clarify questions. How many people are we able to vote towards the committee? And then I have a second question if that can be answered quickly.
So you can elect, or you can vote for up to 10 folks to serve on the Neighborhood Advisory Subcommittee. There are 7 folks here in person. There's 1 person, Michael Bird, who joined virtually, and then there was 4 folks who couldn't make it tonight. So I think there's 13.
But you can go on our website to see all of their bios and their information.
So my second question is, I know the grocery store is an issue. I was wondering which candidate is for a grocery store being state operated. Therefore, we wouldn't worry about it being closed. We get less prices because it would be paid by our tax money, similar to what they're trying to do in New York. Because we already have state stores that give out alcohol. Why can't we give out groceries?
It could be quick. but I think he was referencing like a public grocery store. I think that'd be phenomenal on Shelton Ave. I know it has to be like another grocery store of some sort because the zoning is CMX too. So it will have to be like another store or something. But yeah, he did a public grocery store in New York. Everything they doing in New York though, we already done. We got free pre-K. We did the same day, same pay and stuff like that. So, but yeah, we could potentially get a public grocery store if we get our leaders to like fight for it.
Yeah, I'll answer it. I like the idea. I think when you have public investment in these kinds of systems, you'll get more involvement from it. And then the corporations that control so much of what how we control our lives have no choice but to back down from the same practices that they were doing for decades and decades. So I like the idea. Why not try it? I think we have a lack of willpower to just try new things. And if we fail at them, learn from those mistakes and continue on trying to improve those issues.
Yeah, I think, I just want to say, like, Germantown, we could get a public bank and a public grocery store. Don't forget, we've been the leaders on social issues. As I said, we were the leaders in the abolitionist movement. But we cannot lead on these social issues, now. If we fight hard, if we do the advocacy, if we make the politicians scared, we're not scared, but if we make them want to move on our feet, we could get a public bank and potentially a public grocery store. And we have empty banks. Some of these schools that aren't letting our kids attend, Green Street Friends, like these people are on their banks. They're having a bank buying competition. So maybe we can get one of them banks and get like a public bank and a public grocery store.
It's these conversations that you guys will be bringing back to GU, and we will figure out strategies on how to implement and try to push for some of the things that we want in the community. You have one more question?
I just want to hear yes or no from every candidate, like you get support that issue or not, because I'm voting for y'all and I don't know. I heard 2 quizzes, so I would love to hear from everybody. Just a quick yes or no so I know how to vote.
Raise your hand if yes. The question is a publicly owned supermarket. Which candidates would support a publicly owned supermarket? Raise your hand.
Well, we haven't heard from this side of the candidates yet. Would you speak about it really quickly? We'll get forward with the night. Okay, well, we have all three voted for the public supermarket, right? Okay. So, okay. So pretty much everyone up here is in favor of that.
I'm not an expert, but I'm open to listening to experts. So I'm open to the idea. I'm not something new. That will benefit our community and our people.
Awesome.
So later on in the year, in the next 2 years, while these people once voted in will be on our subcommittee, these are conversations and meetings that we will hold, and we get more input from the community. This is not the night for it yet, but look out for it. But as soon as we get things up and going, we'll most likely start next month. We can foster more places where we can have these communications wider and see what we can do as a GU to help you guys. This.
Make sure it works good. So my question was really to GU, because I was wondering, once the subcommittee is like elected in, and we present these issues to GU, how important is it for GU to respond to the subcommittee and get these things implemented? And do they then go to politicians, like I said, do we go to them, they go to you, like what's the pipeline for that?
Yeah, so the Neighborhood Advisory Subcommittee, the candidates who are elected, there are going to be about 10 meetings a year where the NAS will be coming together. They're going to be reaching out to their neighbors. They're going to be reaching out to their friends who in the community, other business owners to hear what are the biggest issues facing Germantown right now, and how are we going to address it? And it's not just the NAS saying, gee, you need to do something about it. It's how are we going to all work together to make sure that it gets done? And what resources do we need from the city of Philadelphia, from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and who knows about the federal government, but we'll see what we can do about that.
My follow-up to that then would be is that they come to like we come to them, and then what's the timeline for them? Like, hey, turnaround time for everything. Like, do they come together 10 times to develop one issue, go to that issue for politicians and so on and so forth? Or is it like once a month we have a new issue and we try to?
So this is our first time ever having a neighborhood advisory subcommittee. We've had this contract since 2018. We have never formed this committee before, and we're curious to see what we can accomplish with it. So I think we're going to go into our first meeting as an NAS with GU staff and some board representation and lay out an agenda. What are those big priorities that we're hearing? It sounds like affordable housing, a commercial corridor that works for folks, clean, green city, things that align with the mayor's initiatives too. So I think starting from there and then really digging down deep into, where are those bigger issues, those underlying issues that we need to address and keep compounding. We're not going to accomplish everything in one meeting or 10 meetings or in a 2-year election cycle. But I think starting here, having boots on the ground in the community so that we get a better finger on the pulse of what's going on in your town, what are those issues that we're facing, and how can we accomplish it all together.
The NAS subcommittee will also include the 10 meetings per year, but you guys, along with me, we will be out in the community, we will be doing surveys, we will be doing a lot of different outreach, again, I do outreach for tenant title, mortgage, and beyond. So it's not just about meetings every month. We will be out in the streets doing a lot of door knocking, we'll have a lot of events, things like this, service area briefings, you guys will all be in, and also the ears. Obviously, I can't speak to everyone, so the same way you guys come back and came here, you bring all that information to our meetings and be the ears that I can't be in, and Leo too, and bring it back to our city.
Questions or comments?
More comments than questions. When it comes to community work, I feel like a lot of times we miss the focal point. It's almost like building a home, you need a strong foundation first. I know a lot of, again, I'm only 26, I was born in the great year 2000. I feel like I was one of the last people that was finally able to like grow up and kind of not be like too affected by technology, but speaking for my generation, for what I can. I know somebody mentioned voting earlier. I know most people my age don't care about voting. Most of us are trying to figure out how we can pay our bills, how we're going to eat tomorrow, how we're going to live. So when we show up, like, for example, this room is fairly empty compared to the size of Germantown. So it's like, when we show up for ourselves most days, we're not concerned about what's happening in the community. So if we truly want to see a change, I know that's about time frame, my brother, it's going to take some time, but in order for us to be more effective, we need to start at home. Start making sure that people are expanding their capacity, becoming more autonomous, building self-sufficiency. That way they have the capacity when they do show up to these spaces, they can understand and receive what's going on and have some type of like direct contribution to what's happening. It's like, again, I host community events. When I host community events, you may have 50 people sign up, but because there's no monetary investment, only 3 people actually show. This is the same when it comes to this type of work as well. We're not directly contributing anything from the outside looking in. So we need to find ways to get to them and bring them into here.
What I wanted to add on to that. I'm already boots on the ground. I'm a gatekeeper here in Germantown. But the way I operate over here in Germantown, I talk to my community, I talk to my neighbors, I talk to my youth. I ask them, what do you want to see? And that's where I start from. And I go by how many of them say the same thing. So if you end up saying you're looking for jobs, that means what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be going out looking for different companies that's willing to start hiring are 14 to 21-year-olds, including all of our men and women that's re-entering back into the community. Okay, so I'm already doing the work, but my thing right now is, if I don't hear from you, I don't know what you need. My phone is always on. I have people call me, hey, Miss Dad, such and such don't have food. This senior don't have this, that, and I make it happen. I reach out to people that I know that will service and give us the helping hand that's needed. If that answers your question a little bit. There, it's always a turnaround time. But if you come and you say exactly what's going on or what you need, we'll make it happen much as possible. Okay?
Thank you. Got a question back here?
Hello, everyone. So my question, I have a question and then 2 comments. My question is a real logistical one. How long is this position for?
2 years.
Thank you. I just wanted to know. So 2 years for the position. Thank you. And then I just wanted to comment about literacy. We talked a little bit earlier about voting, but I don't want us to ever forget what literacy rates are like in the city of Philadelphia, and that includes Germantown. And for us to think about how we're going to continue to invest in our young people through literacy in and outside the schools, throughout what we do. So I just want to put a shout out and a comment to literacy and not losing touch with that. And I also heard this morning that they talk about fun and enrichment activities, especially during the summer, giving young people things to do. I don't know if I heard anything about jobs, but I want to add that as well. Not losing track of putting those opportunities right in front of the young people. And last but not least, I just want to talk about marketing and getting the word out, because part of what I think happens with engagement is that it's not reaching the ears it needs to reach. And I don't know why that happens in Germantown. I think it does seem like a lot of people are on social media. A lot is put out on social media. I see it all the time. I'm very engaged there. But when it comes to our neighbors, something is not connecting between just putting it out online. We need to figure out how to close that gap and just get information out.
I'm back. Again, back to my generation thing, right? I think the generation or the age group of people that actually care, but are actually showing up, they aren't primarily on social media. They're still probably home reading the newspaper, or they're still probably talking to their neighbor on the front porch. A lot of people who are on social media are people my age or that are younger age. And I'll be honest, if it's something on social media like that's live in the first couple seconds, or it's not really innocent, you kind of just scroll past it. So, I mean, the posts are out there, but it's that younger generation, that I would say like maybe like 40 and under, that are still have yet to kind of step up to the plate. So it's how can we reach them? And it may have to be through entertainment, where we say, yo, we got to get on here and dance. Just so we get people out there to show up for the community, but that's what we got to do. Then.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to add on to that. I agree with you. The literacy rates is part of the problem. And I think because of the abundance of the screens, especially when you're not on the doors and you have a good conversation, it might turn into a little bit of a debate about the issues that people are facing. You do tend to get a lot of talking points that clearly came from Instagram and Facebook, etc. I do think that we do need to be nuanced about how we approach the problem. Because although it is a huge part of the problem, it is a great way to reach them. And I'm struggling with that myself, because even like being in this space right now, I'm slightly introverted, but I become extroverted when it becomes the things that I think really need to do. Right? So we do need to change how we approach the younger generation, which might be getting out of the bubble and acting like, or saying, hey, chat randomly to people you can't see. But you keep that message there just to be able to play that game, so to bring them to something like this, and then they can feel the energy of what's happening, and then they get more involved. I've seen that time and time again. through my mentorship in the IT programs that I work with, or just trying to do block cleanups and encouraging kids to come over and help out. That's all we've been.
Thank you. I think we have one more comment from Michael Bird. Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me? Okay, so once again, I believe the subcommittee and the advocates for our neighborhoods is important for us to connect the resources to our neighbors and to our people. So one of our biggest resources is of course the Free Library of Philadelphia for GED, English classes, digital literacy, tutoring, homework help. Those programs exist in our library right on Sherman Avenue. And then we look at citywide early literacy endeavors such as the Read by Fourth or the adult education programs, beyond literacy programs. All those programs are things that our neighbors don't know about, and I think it's our job to, when we have resource failures or when we're doing office hours or we're talking to our neighbors, just when we're getting home from work, speaking about those things to make sure our children are performing and we could be those connectors to those resources and those translators to those issues to make sure that we help people get delivered the resources and the help that they need and deserve, and quite frankly are paying for through their tax dollars.
Thank you, Michael. One more.
Real quick, this lady, Delise Williams, she filed a lawsuit that, like, keeping the schools open. So she filed a lawsuit that went through a common pleas court to keep building 21 open. I think if we have to show up to court, like we should pack the court, make noise. It should look like R. Kelly going to trial, y'all. Like literally, we should all be in there. But somebody filed a lawsuit and got through a common pleas court. A judge, Tamaris Garcia, something, let it go to trial. I need to read more up on it, but there is a lawsuit to keep building 21 open. So we should just be fighting it and standing with the people who are doing that advocacy as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just going to be real quick. I wanted to touch on what you mentioned about people not necessarily getting the message not reaching to them. Like I said, I was born and raised in Germantown. Germantown has a lot of separation. You know, there's a lot of issues. This side doesn't get along with that side. So I think that being someone who's been here my whole life, I'm 47, sometimes you see a message or you see an event or a resource and you think, oh, that's not for me. That's not for my group, or that's not for my side. And one of my skills is relationship building. So I've worked with all types of people, diverse backgrounds, is to bring everybody to the table and say, no, we are Germantown. This is for us. This is for you. You belong here. You know, this is not just for them or not for them on this side. This is for us. We're one Germantown. So let's bring the resources together and let's bring the people to the resources.
Thank you. All right, in the interest of time, since we have to run for about 30 more minutes, we wanted to kind of treat this as more of a networking event, so you could come up to the candidates one-on-one and speak. This is the beginning of a much larger conversation. I want us to keep having these group conversations and talking about the issues that matter for Germantown. Please, if we don't have your contact information, fill out the sign-in sheet. Enjoy some local food by Das Good. Thank you, Lonnie Young Rec Center.
Don't forget to check out our resource table. We have a lot of flyers, a lot of different resources in the community. There's a youth flyer on there. We have any youth that need jobs. Check that out there. Please get some food. Please stay alert on our social media for election day, which is June.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. Please be here.
No one said anything, and they were like, oh. I'm like,